neshama shenatata bi teho rahi Elohai neshama shenatata bi teho rahi ata berata ata yitzarta nefachta bi ata berata ata yitzarta nefachta bi Elohai neshama shenatata bi teho rahi Elohai neshama shenatata bi teho rahi Elohai neshama shenatata bi teho rahi Elohai neshama shenatata bi teho rahi. Good morning, Boker Tov. I am suffering from allergies this last couple of days, but today is like unbelievably annoying. We'll put it as that. It is back to school for the kids in our area. It is back to school for Ellis, and so that drop off wasn't so easily done after being home with me for whatever how many days it was, 12 I think. So that was a little rough start to this morning. Oh, not to mention my phone is stuck in this mode. So anybody trying to reach me, just know I'm not ignoring you. My phone just doesn't work. So I guess on the day when I don't really have time to deal with an Apple store, I'll be going there anyway. So it's been a few days of, it's been a week long, I think, actually. Started last Shabbat, maybe the day before that, where there's been all kinds of protests and encampments in college campuses. And we've been dealing with, anti-Semitism and the effects of Jewish students on college campuses since before October 7th. But of course, since then, it has gotten much worse, and it's even happening here in our schools on Long Island where we are, in the city, and in all, across the country. And last night, while we were doing the Omer, counting Omer, I received several messages, that was when my phone was working, about turn on the news. Do you see what's going on? So every morning, the morning blessings are said. In particular, Pokeach Ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Ruach, or Melech HaOlam, Pokeach Ivrim. The one who opens the eyes of the blind. That we open our eyelids to see what we can see. And unfortunately, what we're seeing is not something that should be seen. In so many ways. It's not only on college campuses. We shouldn't have seen so many things that have happened in our people's history, but we can't unsee them. And so when we're opening our eyes, we feel, in moments like this, we feel blind because we can't imagine what we're seeing. We feel blind because we're wondering if the people who are against, for lack of better term, are they unable to see? Why is government not seeing what we're seeing? Why is our local government, our communities, our friends, why is it that if every morning we're praying for sight, that we slept the night, we woke up, have fresh eyes for a new day? Are those that are setting up encampments, those that are, listen, we're all entitled to our opinions, right? I can tell you that before October 7th, and still to this moment, I still have trouble accepting Israel's governmental um, ways. Hey, I live in the US, I don't like that either. So, it's not to say that I agree with what's going on in the world at any level, as a Jew, as a rabbi, as a human, as somebody that genuinely has the interest of humanity as a whole in my view. I'm not blind to see that we're not. I often say, somebody will say, oh, well, you're the chosen people, so that's, why you think that way. And in truth, I've had this discussion with so many. I don't feel a chosen person. I don't see, and we may disagree. As Jews are the chosen people. No, the Jews chose. If God, if a power, if whatever that looks like for you is laying this out, hey, go this way, and I'll give you this. It's your choice to take the bait. It's your choice to lead yourself on that path. It's your choice, that free will. And then I think about the free will of those in these moments. In these moments where kids are scared to be at college, in these moments that our hostages are still not yet released and they have nothing to see because they're blind in these moments. They see what they're feeling. They are who they are, where they are, but they can't hear us. We're doing this work. We're yelling from the rooftops. We're having conversations with governmental leaders. We are doing what all that we think that we can. Their family members, outreach groups, and then there's Palestinian children and elders, sick and weak and old. Somebody said, that was interviewed yesterday, she wasn't Palestinian, and I don't believe from Gaza. But she said something, this is paraphrased, but she said something like, she's camping out, she's protesting loud, she's not going to attend class because all of the schools, all of the shelters, all of the hospitals, all of the places of education have been bombed, are in shambles, or in ruins. And so she will take her place and she will not attend the school, but rather she will stand there until something changes. Again, each of us entitled to our own opinion, each of us entitled to do what we think is right, to stand up for what we believe in. But in truth, I thought this last night when I heard her, I thought to myself, you're refusing to see the idea of cutting off your nose to spite your face. If you want to educate the masses, if you want to be more educated as to what is going on, are you blind to see what's happening in the world? That by you standing there, not attending your own class, paying for the credits that we already know are astronomical for colleges, but you're standing there in protest, in solidarity with Palestine, with Gaza, with Hamas, and yet you're lessening your own education. You're losing your money. You're going to be arrested because you've been warned. And so, what we're seeing and what others are seeing, whether it is the narrative of um, social media, whether it's the narrative of a terrorist organization, whether it's the narrative of Netanyahu and his support system, whether it is the narrative of the family members that are just killing themselves literally to get their loved ones back, whether it's our own narrative, our own feeling, vision, we're falling short. We're blind to see that the real problem that is existing with this hatred for the Jewish people, it is not about this land is your land, this land is my land. It's deeper than that. It's rooted in hatred. And so if we can't open our eyes to see where the real problems lie, then we're going to be at this for way longer. You know, it's really hard to make someone see your side of any story, right? We all have had these situations in our lives that we have come to uncomfortable conversations and nobody's hearing you. You know you're right, or at least you want to be heard for what you think is right, and no one is listening. And this is on a tiny scale. This is like with a group of friends. This is like with your colleagues at work. This is, you know, maybe a conversation that you're having at a book club. But we're talking about a global scale. We're talking about leaders that don't want to see. We're talking about people on both sides and all sides. You know, somebody said, oh, well, you can't see the other side because you're a Jew. Oh, you can't see the other side because you're a rabbi. Yes, I can see the other side. I can absolutely see the other side. And I can absolutely hear two sides of that part, which is innocent people die at war. It's a war. I can see the idea that whatever percentage it is, and I don't want to say a percent because I don't want it to be incorrect information, but a percentage of people, yes, they support the efforts of Hamas because they think that they're going to get what they need. And then there's a huge percentage of people that are thinking to themselves, how do we get ourselves into this mess and how do we get out of it? The obligation of people is to reduce the amount of ignorance. I see it from people that are, you know, Am Yisrael Chai, the Jewish people are going to live. They're, you know, chanting and marching and doing and all of these things, but they're uneducated to or ignorant to the idea that we still have to understand the other person's perspective. We're going to stay here and we're going to stay strong. But you can't have an argument if you don't understand or you don't want to listen or you don't want to see the other side. I know that social media was also blowing up about Biden talking about letting refugees in, Gazan refugees in to America. And people are up in arms because they're like, hold on a minute. If Egypt doesn't want them, then why are we letting them here? Dear friends, something I hate, I will always hate, and I don't even like to use that word. Something I will always hate is politics, because in truth, it's all about the letter I. There is this idea of we in politics just until people get into office, and then it becomes about I. And so countries have to run the way they run, and we hope and we pray that we select candidates that are going to truly help us. But in the end, it's mostly the same. The conflicts continue to be here. Politicians make decisions, we shake our heads. Linda, yeah, the emotional obligation to watch Screams Before Silence. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I'm also feeling at the same time, yes, the screams before the silence, but I'm also already feeling the silence, the sound of silence, the song of silence. Yes, we're screaming because something happens and then all of a sudden it falls by the wayside. 207 days, we're sitting here with heaviness, with weight, holding two sides at once, holding our people, holding our traditions, our heritage, our hostages, their families. And I'm sorry, but my heart still hurts for the innocent, and it always will. The strangers in the land, for Jews and Palestinians alike, for Gazans, they feel like strangers in their own land because it's a strange situation. What's unfolding for all of that entire area, even the supporting and surrounding countries. We're always going to have this fighting. It's not going away. But it ebbs and flows, and um, it's in different veins, but it's all underlying is the same central theme of hate, because people don't want to open their eyelids and see the real problems because they are part of the I movement, the letter I, or the I movement. I'll see what I think I want to see and I'll close my eyes, close my eyelids. I'll be blind. I'll turn my head and I won't see the truth and the whole picture. On this day, the 8th day of the Omer, Chesed Shebegevura, I charge us with vision. Vision to say, I am not blind to see all that is going on in the world. Vision to say that I have love in my heart, that I have gratitude for what I have, all within the strength, the power, the restraint, the constraint, the boundaries, and the justice that we all need and deserve as humanity. Let us open our eyelids. Let us really hear, see, and be in what is the unfolding of what's going on in the world. Don't change your side. Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu Chai. The Jewish people will live. That's not optional. But let's open our eyes to see what others are not seeing. Let's continue to fight for what is right, to open our hearts, to open our mouths, to make sure that our hostages come home, but to make sure that more peaceful solutions will be for humanity. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you, and guess what? We'll see you back here tonight at 9:30 as we continue to count on one another. Thank you for joining me this morning. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai.